The lake region and the mountain, when they join up, the entire country benefits. That's how we got independence. We are now in what we call the third phase of our history, and that is the economic liberation. The economic saviors and warriors are going to come from the lake, and they are going to come from the mountain. And the rest of the country is going to join in. That is how we are going to do this. And you shall see the fire that is going to sweep this country. It will be amazing. The future is looking amazingly bright. I'm very confident of it. The problems in this country are so deep. It will be doctors today, it will be teachers tomorrow, it will be the entire civil service the day after. The problems we have here are problems of the economy of Kenya. And William Ruto is unable to solve this problem.
A lot of people, they have told Raila to stay at home so that they can now take over the role. Mheshimiwa James Orengo, now the church, and I also want to caution the church a little bit that time has come where we have to move to liberalism, move away from conservative way of thinking and embrace the young generation. These are the people who are going to chart the destiny of this country. And I can see Dr. Wori, probably during lunchtime somewhere, we are related, because I'm also from that region of the Aworis. Mr. Janji, Engineer Janji, your relative is here. This young man has just come from Atlanta, Georgia. It's one of the best universities, Emory universities in Atlanta. I went to give a lecture there some years ago. And this one, we were talking with them this morning at their grandmother's place. Maina Wanjigi paid my fees with JJ Kamodo. When I was at Chokora in Nairobi, when people did not want to look at me, when people did not want to talk to me, when my Luya community had forsaken me, when everybody was smiling at their own discourse, when everybody took me like a mosquito, this man and JJ Kamodo, they educated me. And if I may ask the former chairman of Equity, if he's around, Mr. Munga, please. This is the man who knows me. This is the one who took me. This is the one who used to drive me. This is the one who even took me to Kamodo's funeral. This is the one who used to call me Kamwana. I knew Munga when he had nothing, but he came from where he was up to now. Thank you, Mzee. The Kikuyu community, you have been vilified. Every time a member of the Kikuyu is killed during that mayhem time of Moi, when he killed 1, 10 were born. Now this mountain you see here, a lot of people do not know the secrets in that mountain. That mountain is sacred, Mr. Governor. We who come from very far away, we know the use of that mountain. And without that mountain, you cannot walk your journey and make it. If I may also look at the people who have assisted me, besides the late, who I was talking to Jimmy. Jimmy, please just move here, because you are one of those people that we are looking at our children today to liberate this country whether you want it or not. And go and tell him wherever he is that Gen Zs have to be recognized, they have to be heard, they have to be talked to, not to be talked upon. The Kenyatta family. And James Orengo, come please, with due respect. Among the people who are still living that helped me, one of the people who played a big role when I was in exile, after having been jailed by Moi, after having been detained by Moi, the person who brought me documents to go to law school was James Agri Orengo. The Kenyattas, I love you. There another person that I would like to thank very much, and she's not here, is Mama Ida Odinga. Before I was taken after detention, Jaramogi ordered Mama Ida Odinga. I was taken by a car whose registration I still remember, KPJ 089. I was taken by that car to Embakasi Airport, the cargo plane. That's how I left this country to go and study. Now, how am I going to remember Maina? How am I going to remember him? I just learned of his death yesterday when I came back in the country. I'd gone to do my research in my second doctorate degree, which is my 15th. Given the fact that the foundation in education that I was given by him, with the JJ Kamodo, I gave 10 scholarships. He can agree to that. Now, I'm going to remember him in my preface for my second doctorate. I'll write there, the people who helped me. Top of the name will be JJ Kamodo. Another one will be James Agri Orengo. Another one will be Maina, and I will write a chapter on him. And as for you, the destiny of this country, your father's spirituality, spiritual kind of way of behaving and leading his life. May we join hands, liberate this country, and give our children under the tutelage of Raila Amolo Odinga. May you go and tell your brother, Uhuru Kenyatta, to pick my phone next time. And James, may God bless you, and thank you very much, and thank you again. Thank you, young men. Genesie! Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
No, you know, my good friend Wajakoya, there's something that you have missed out on. His son has just been admitted to Chelsea Football Club. And we have been pressurizing him that we want free tickets into that stadium. Now, just to buttress the Gen Z, my son Maina, where's Mudhandi? Please stand up. Maina, Mudhandi, stand up. You are not here, unfortunately, Maina the third. I think you sit down. And where's Wambui? Mudhandi, Maina, and Wambui. They were on the streets for 3 days. 3 days. You tell me, yeah, just in half an hour, Dad. I said, there's shooting. He said, no, just half an hour. We did not stop them. We did not get in their way. None of us as parents, it is their future, it is their lives, and they are standing up for it. Asanteni sana.
Wewe jiulize swali wewe, kama Mkenya mwenzangu. Dedan Kimathi, Achieng' Oneko, Martin Shikuku, Matiba, JM Kariuki, Helena Chelagat, Wangari Maathai, George Anyona, wangekuwa wapi sai, wangekuwa hapa nje ya bunge wakirepresent sauti ya wananchi. So on Tuesday, tunataka kuchunga hii building. Tuambie mkinge kwa hiyo bunge, you vote the way people want. Huo Ruto ende angalie budget yake, aseme tu ambao nataka to reduce. Hii nchi ni yetu. Nchi si ya Ruto ama mama ya Ruto. This country belongs to all of us. So the sovereign power belongs to the people. Sisi tumepatia Ruto kazi. Na tumesema kama as taxpayers, you have to listen to our voices, because the people's voice is the voice of God. So Kenyans, be on the right side of history. On Tuesday, come and stand here outside and watch them vote. Watch them vote. Watch them decide, is Ruto greater or the people of this country? They have to make a choice. Is it one who is Ruto or the rest of the country? Mungu awabariki, tuonane Tuesday hapa nje ya bunge. When they are voting, they will determine how the future turns out. Either watakuwa wasaliti wahame kwao ama watakuwa viongozi wetu. Ni aje mambo? Tuesday mtokelezea hapa. Ni aje? Uko fresh? Uko poa? Na kutuma tu nakwambia ambia kome. Tuesday tuko hapa. Tuesday tunakuja hapa. Tuesday tuna occupy hapa. Hii bunge ni yetu, uniform ni yetu, bunduki ni yetu. Everything here is yetu. Taxpayers. Hata hii barrier ni yetu. So on Tuesday tuonane hapa. Mwambie kome na mtumie SMS hii. Niwaambie tupatane hapa Tuesday. Mwende reinforcement hapa Tuesday tuna occupy hapa. Members of parliament must listen to us. Tumesema tunataka finance bill, hatutaki hata kidogo. They must vote no. So Tuesday tunakuja hapa tuwaambie wabunge, amuniski, but on Tuesday we shall be here. Tuesday they must vote no. We are here on Tuesday. Waambieni hivyo. You cannot sell our future to Ruto and his family. Do not sell our future to Ruto. Tumekataa. Kenya ni yetu. Maumau wa kukufa ndio Ruto auze Kenya. Hapana. We can't go back to the Kanu days. We cannot allow ourselves to tandamana. On Tuesday, you either vote yes or no. Hakuna acclamation, hakuna ye or nay. Wambie tangu la Papa Roma, Tuesday democracy kue hapa. You either vote yes or no. Tumeamua. See on Tuesday. Hapa, we're taking over Tuesday. Wherever you're in Kenya, show up Tuesday. Patio. Tuende bana. Maisha ni ngumu Kenya. Tuwezi itikia kudhulumiwa. I've been protesting since I was 26 years old. Mimi ni mzee sahi. And I'll come back. I'm going to do this for my kids. Not for anyone else, my children. 3 of them. I'm 40 years old and I'll be here on Tuesday because of my kids and my country.
They are proposing to raise revenue by raising tax. Their target is impossible to reach, first and foremost. And if they were even to try and attempt to do it, they will finish anybody that produces in this country. So it's an impossible target. So what we should do is the following. Because we are addressing debt, there are 3 options we have. Those 3 options are the following. 1, we reschedule the debt. And that has a lot of problems, I can tell you, because it is a mixture of too much debt. The second is that we declare default, where we say we cannot pay, can you come to the table? We look at the debt we owe you, right? And restructure it. That is what we call debt distress exchange. And other countries are doing it. Ghana is currently going through it since December. The third is to say we need a scrutiny of this debt. And some of us, when we were going for the presidential race, did a scrutiny of the debt. And I can tell you, the debt that was taken in the previous regime was 6 trillion. Parliament gives authority to take debt. Parliament only approved 2 trillion. So we've got to ask ourselves, what do we do with debt that we in our constitution have to approve and we didn't approve? And maybe that is a softer option that we should look at. This thing called odious debt. It must not come off our sweat because we did not approve it. We don't know what it was for. It did not go towards anything we know of. And that is the third option.
Housing program. Nani hana kwao?
That mzee.
Nani hana kwao? How do you build people a house with their money, then sell them the house that you built with their money? You see, it does not make sense.
Not at all to me.
To me, it does not. You see, this housing program, his billionaires who have stolen enough money in different government projects have been buying these houses as proxies. So they collect IDs of university students, and these IDs that sometimes we leave at the gate and forget them. They've been it's a big business right now. They collect those IDs, they fill forms. You find one person has bought 100 houses.
That's how they are buying the houses?
Yeah.
Like, is it something is it hearsay or it's something
this
that you
is something I know for sure. That these IDs
maybe
that
you
we
need
forget,
for us to know it's true, you need to get us an episode on
this
vampire
is what
diaries.
I will do. This is what I'll do. I'll go to the housing program in Park Road. Okay? The problem with the government is that it does not give information. I may have to sue them to give me the list of the people that own houses there. If I give you the list of the people that own houses under Nyumba Yangu program for Park Road, you will find that there are people there who do not know they own a house there. Because there is identity theft, their ID was stolen, filled a form, and someone used it to buy a house because somebody wanted to buy maybe 20 houses, but as 20 different people, not as themselves.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens because there's a lot of corruption that happens.
Now these houses are being rented out.
As B&Bs.
Yes, so somebody buys 20 houses, then he rents them out, even for residents, if you just want to live. You find they've bought like 20, 30 houses, now they are renting them out.
So technically the citizens are funding the rich to keep getting rich.
Exactly. So he needs to get off, not prioritizing things that are not a priority.
These people out here are tired. These people are tired. I was crying this morning today because we are messing up a good thing. We are messing up this country. Who wants to be a refugee? And there's enough for you people to eat, so long as you eat with manners. The revenue we collect is enough to run 8 African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. You go to Congo, you go to South Sudan, you go to Somalia, and you go to Ethiopia. That's what our goddamn budget is.
So the president in his interview talked about over 70% of his revenue is going to debt. So what you're admitting, in fact, our figure now is about 78%. What you are saying is that this revenue is not forthcoming and that we are going to face the crisis we have been predicting over 1 year now, which is the crisis of default. Ghana had defaulted at 70% and it had very similar circumstances to ours. Very similar. And we have the head of state admitting that that is where we are today. Over 70%. Sri Lanka collapsed towards 90%. Lebanon, 80%. Argentina, 80%. Zambia, 80%. We can keep going on.
80% of what?
80% of revenue going to debt. So we are at a situation where it is inevitable that our predictions of debt default are coming.
One day even the police themselves will demonstrate because there's nothing on their payslip. Civil servants, the police service, nothing is being left on the payslip. What will their children eat? What will the children of civil servants eat?
How will they go
what
to school?
will the children of thousands who are unemployed? And what will the thousands of unemployed youth eat? We are not using money to create jobs. We are using money for splashing, globe-trotting, and enriching a few people, employing so many people in government that is not needed. So one day, I know, people will recover their agency and they'll tell this regime enough is enough. And I would encourage Kenyans to use their agency.
If you don't know who this man is, I also didn't know who he was, okay? But sit tight because you want to know. This is Jacob Juma, okay? He was a businessman in Kenya. He died on 6th May 2016. And by that, during this time, we were experiencing a lot of floods in Kenya. But besides the point, he was assassinated. And let's get into it. He was not afraid of condemning corruption. In fact, he openly talked about it on social media platforms. Now, with everything going on in Kenya right now, his tweets resurfaced. But when I tell you this man was accurate, to the point that people actually think he's a prophet or he's still alive. Fellow Kenyans, please, please, please don't ever listen to William Ruto. He's a fraudster. He lies with severe impunity. This is 2015. Kenya's corrupt government thugs have excessive appetite for luxury cars, houses, suits, and other toys. It's not hard to find them and apprehend them. Kenyans who believe whatever William Ruto says must be sick. Ruto is a liar, thug, thief, and a hypocrite. They should tread carefully. 2016. The assassin's tactic is a familiar script. They first demonize your name to sway public opinion against you, then they pounce and kill you. Fellow Kenyans, just imagine William Ruto being Kenya's president. The country will burn. He's arrogant, abusive, coercive, and a grabber. 2015. Safaricom is a huge financial institution that has too much political power over our nation. It poses a systemic risk to our democracy. William Ruto will never escape justice. If he escapes ICC jail, he will not escape my pursuit. And if he does manage, God will deal with him. We should burn the houses of the corrupt, vehicles, companies, and anything that has brought using proceedings from corruption. 2015. Mind you, this is July. Oh my God. All accurate, all here. Why can't right-thinking Kenyans organize a people's revolution and throw these gluttons from power? We should act now before Kenya collapses. Oh my God. Kenyan youth should look at corruption as a national disaster that affects their quality of life, directly forgo tribalism and fight it. And he then mysteriously died on Ngong Road in a pool of blood. And this is not to say that he was innocent. Apparently, he also had his schemes. But everything he said is coming to pass. Like, that is insane.
Ruto is going to jail.
Certain.
He will not escape it. He will not escape it. It may not happen today. But within 10 years, Ruto will be in jail. Yeah.
Based on everything that we've seen.
What is happening now and plus what he has done in the past. You know, there are footprints where we are. There are footprints where we are. It's not just by accident that we have got a government made of thieves for thieves by thieves. But the people are now beginning to ask, from 1963, what went wrong? Where did the rain begin beating us? That's the question Gen Z is asking. Why can't we have good governance? How come some people can live so large while others have nothing. And the same people who are living large are not inventors, are not known for any enterprise, they don't own any company or anything. They're just politicians or civil servants. They are surviving on our taxes. How come? That some of them are even now richer than the country in terms of balance sheet.
Nilisema mimi ni mtu ya vitendo na mimi ni mtu ya biashara. Anataka watu wafaidike kwa biashara. Wachana na hii makazi ya serikali. Unajua rafiki yangu alisema bottom up, mimi naona tu ni watu juu ambao wanapata kazi. Mimi sioni watu bottom wanapata kazi. Wachana na hiyo maneno. Kama ni shares unataka kupurchase, nionyeshe gate ya shares kwa hii stock market. Unajua pesa, ukiwa na pesa ndio the ultimate freedom. Kweli ama si kweli? Ukiwa na hela, mambo sawa. Kuna mtu anakutisha.
Our eyes are firmly fixed on removing President William Ruto from power in 2027 through the ballot. And anybody who tends to work with the man they want to remove, for sure, they will not want to see that person. So Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, if you are clever, don't join a sinking ship. Ruto had lost Mount Kenya, and he has lost Mount Kenya. There's no thinking about it. And because now Rigiji looked like he was the door to Mount Kenya and he can't go back through Rigiji, he's trying to go back even if it means going back through the window. And Embu was an eye-opener for him. He said, oh, the mountain loves Uhuru, so let me call to Uhuru and see if I can go back to Mount Kenya. So that looks for him like the only window through which he could go into Mount Kenya. But Mount Kenya is telling him, in fact, there's a song trending in Mount Kenya, in Kikuyu, is saying we can't go back to our oppressors. That's what they are calling it. I think that meeting was about their interests. It was about William Ruto trying to protect power and trying to stay in power as much as possible. It's an act of desperation, if you ask me, because the president who withdrew security from that home has literally had to go to the same home that he thought was not worthy of being provided with security. The minute Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta joins hands with William Ruto, he loses his credibility. He loses all the cheer, and all the cheer he had will turn into jeer. So when Baba worked with him, he lost a huge following.
Itoe Ruto Kenya, hata kama ni angalau na jali. Sisi Kenya tumechoka na Ruto, maisha imekuharibikia, analipisha mpaka sodo ya wamama. Pure kabisa Ruto. We don't like you, go home. Sasa tafuta kiongozi ambaye anapenda mwananchi na anapenda kijana kama.
They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. And there is no shortage of such men and women in the African continent.
Now the next election, yes. Unajua hawa ndio watakuwa nasema fagia wote ama mtasema namna gani? This generation, yes, they use their might because they didn't vote, the largest vote in the last election.
You don't like me, why them a fight me? You like me, chewing a bone, a bite it. You like me, chewing a bite it. Don't like power and you chop. When you touch them, when you touch them, even if we put them. When you touch them, you find not touch them. When you touch them, what your man not soak them. In Pamba, me say you bust them.